The holidays are upon us, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you what reseller tools are on my holiday wish list. Stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body trimmings for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I am a part-time reseller on a bunch of different reselling platforms. And while it really doesn't take a lot of money to start a reselling business, you can literally start with just whatever you have in your home that you no longer use or need, and your phone and some internet. There are some reselling tools that you can invest in that will help you be more efficient with some of your reselling tasks or just make reselling easier for you. These are not necessarily things that you need right when you're first starting out as a reseller, but if you've been reselling for a few months and you think that this is something that you're going to stick with, these are some things that I will definitely be putting on my Christmas list, and you can feel free to steal them and put them on your holiday wish list as well. These are all things that I personally do not own yet, or I own and I want more of. I have made videos like this before and I will post them here so that you can see some other reselling tools that I have recommended in the past, but these are literally things that I'm going to be asking for, and hopefully I get a couple of them for Christmas this year. I will have all of these items linked down below, at least the ones that I have been looking at. You know, there may be other variations of some of the products that I am suggesting available, and perhaps even better versions of, you know, products than what I'm suggesting, but again, most of these things are not things that I own. So let's talk about the first out of the 5 things that I am going to be asking for Christmas this year. The first thing is a photo box or a light box that is tall enough to put articles of clothing in, like to actually hang clothing from. I do have a smaller light box, and I think that this is actually something that I mentioned in one of my older videos, and I do also have a review of the smaller version of this box that I will put right here. I love the smaller version of this light box, and it is something that I use on a very regular basis to photograph things like shoes, small accessories, handbags, and that sort of thing. However, I know that there is a bigger version of this that exists where you can hang even like full-length gowns, and that would just be so wonderful because where I photograph my clothing, it's, you know, just up against a wall, and it gets pretty good light in the daytime. There are skylights in the room where I photograph, and you know, there's generally pretty good light in there. However, I am heavily reliant on daylight. I do use a lot of photo editing apps to, you know, brighten up my pictures and give my pictures a clean white background. But even still, if you don't have good lighting when you first take the picture, you know, you can do all the editing that you want, but you're not going to be able to do your item justice. So this would be wonderful to have, because then I'm not confined to just the hours of the day where there's sunlight to photograph, but I can photograph whenever. And not only that, I can literally stick this in like a closet or something. Like, it doesn't have to be somewhere prominent in my house, because the only thing you need is the space inside the light box to photograph. And so this is definitely something that is on my Christmas list. The one that I found on Amazon that I would probably purchase is by the brand TrueMagine, and it costs about $339. That's pretty expensive. It's not, you know, something to take lightly, but I've been reselling for long enough now and have learned enough about my limitations as far as, you know, how much I can photograph given the time that I have, especially because I am a high school choir teacher. That's my full-time job. And so I'm limited to the hours after teaching to photograph and the weekends. And especially given, you know, the winter months, it's basically dark by the time I get home. So I just don't have a lot of time to photograph. This would be a lifesaver. Moving on to number 2, this is definitely much cheaper and much more affordable than the photo box that I mentioned. And this is also one of those things, like, I don't know why I haven't purchased one yet, but number 2 is a Scotty Peeler. A Scotty Peeler is something that you can use to get stickers and things of that nature off of anything, whether it's off of like shoes, off of even like if you purchase something, you know, retail arbitrage, and they stuck one of those like orange clearance stickers on there, and if you wanted to get that off without, you know, having to damage the entire original price tag, a Scotty Peeler is a tool that's going to help you do that. And they're so cheap. On Amazon, you can get a package of 2 of them with even like a blade cover, so that, you know, if you have little ones, you've got something kind of, you know, covering it so that they won't hurt themselves. You can get a pack of 2 for $10.95. Why haven't I purchased one yet? I don't know. But after years of using my fingernails to try to get price tags and things like that off of clothes and off of shoes, no more. I'm gonna get myself a Scotty Peeler. This is gonna be a Christmas present that I get for myself, even if no one else gets it for me. And I think it's gonna help me save time, because it takes a lot of time to peel off those stickers with your fingers, and it's gonna save me lots of fingernail gunk and pain and all sorts of stuff. So very excited about that. Number 3 on my Christmas list of reseller tools is an industrial shoe rack, or maybe even more than one. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you know that I have played around with a lot of different ways to store shoes. Probably the most successful way has been to build shoe walls out of those USPS shoe boxes. They are things that you can get for free. You can order them on the USPS website and get them delivered right to your house. Now, there have been some viewers who have left comments just very upset about the fact that I use those as shoe storage, because their argument is that these shipping supplies from USPS are meant to be used just for shipping and nothing else. I did say in those videos that those shoe boxes would be used eventually for shipping out shoes, and that's what I've been doing, because the truth is, even though these can make really good shoe box walls or, storage units or whatever, they are boxes, they're cardboard, and the shoe box walls do start to sag a little bit. And so not only have I heard what you have said about, not using USPS shipping supplies for anything other than shipping, but also they can only be used in this shoe box wall configuration for so long. And so I have been using the boxes from my shoebox wall to ship shoes out in, and that was always my original intent, was to eventually use them to ship out shoes or even other items. Sometimes I will ship out bundles, like if I sell 2 or more things and they're kind of bulky. These USPS shoe boxes are perfect to ship out Poshmark bundles in, but I have been shipping things out in them. So I do want to invest in a real shoe shelf. So there weren't very many to choose from on Amazon. There weren't very many that were very tall and would hold a good number of shoes, but I did find one by the brand, I don't know how to pronounce this, but Asian, I don't know, but it has 10 tiers, so 10 rows, and it can hold about 50 pairs of shoes. I think I could probably get a few more on there, just because flats, for example, I could stack them one on top of one another versus, putting each shoe next to each other. And I do like that, on that top row you can store boots or, taller shoes. That being said, I don't know how sturdy this is. I don't know that it's necessarily an industrial strength shoe rack, and so my fear is that it'll be kind of flimsy and barely able to hold 50 pairs of shoes. But it's relatively cheap at $28.99, so I think it's something worth trying out and purchasing one of to begin with. And if it works really well, then I can definitely purchase another one, because I do have a lot of shoes in my inventory. The 4th item that I want to purchase for myself for my reselling business from Amazon are velvet hangers. I, right now on my garment racks, have just a hodgepodge of hangers, all different kinds of hangers. And I even have some straight from hell, those wire hangers that you get from the cleaners. And it's just because there are times when I have so many pieces on my garment rack that I have to reach way deep into the reserves of, the clothing hangers that we have in our home to hang all of the things that I have up on my garment rack. And those wire hangers, they're fine for things like tank tops or sleeveless dresses or anything like that. You can hang it really on whatever and it's fine. But one reason why I want these velvet hangers, and I do have some, but why I just want all of my hangers to be these velvet hangers is, one, obviously your clothes are gonna stay on the hanger really nicely and they're not gonna slip or slide off because of the velvet. And 2, I like the idea of having some uniformity on my garment racks. If you've seen, the tour of my reselling space, I will link that video right here. Or if you've just seen anything about my home or my reselling space or even my office at school, if you just know anything about me, I'm a very messy person. I can function really well even in the midst of a ton of mess. That being said, I know that constantly being in messy spaces has an effect on my productivity. I know there's like tons of research out there about it and stuff, and I feel like just being able to look at a garment rack with like uniform hangers will just do something for my sanity. You know what I mean? Like there'll be one little spot in my reselling space that like doesn't cause anxiety. And so I don't know, it's a relatively small investment. You can get a pack of 100 velvet hangers on Amazon, and it's like part of their Amazon Basics line, which, you know, do you really need like the highest grade hanger? No, like no one cares where your hangers are from. But the Amazon Basic ones, you can get a pack of 100 for $41.99. That comes out to like 42 cents a hanger, and I think that's definitely worth it. So it's a simple thing, but I feel like it's something that will make a difference in terms of just how I feel about the clothing waiting to get photographed. The last thing on my list of reseller tools that I would like for Christmas, and I do have one more bonus thing after this, you know, 5th tool, but the last thing that I will be asking for is one more garment rack. I have one like industrial stainless steel garment rack that I did purchase on Amazon last March after one of the ones that I had just kept breaking. I had one of those plastic ones that you can get at like Bed Bath & Beyond, but it would just keep falling apart because I kept putting too much clothes on it. So the one that I have is from Simple Houseware, that's like the brand, but it's their Simple Houseware heavy duty garment rack, and it was only $50. I have not had any problems with it, and I have put a ton of clothing on there. You know, I have the one that I purchased in March, and then I have another one that is more of like a plastic garment rack, and so I would like to replace that one with another more heavy duty one. And since I'm happy with the one that I already have, I would just get the same thing, and that would help with uniformity as well, right? Because I would have these 2 sleek stainless steel garment racks with these beautiful black velvet hangers, and again, I think it would just make me feel very zen about the clothes that are waiting to get photographed and steamed. So those are the 5 reselling tools that I am going to have on my Christmas list this year, but a bonus item that I will throw in the video as well, and this has more to do with the YouTube side of my business, but I think you could also obviously use it for reselling itself, is a new camera. Believe it or not, let's see, when did I start on YouTube? I started, I think, in February of 2019. So I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary of YouTube. I am still filming on my iPhone. I have not upgraded to a real camera, but I think it's about time. I'm very close to hitting 25,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which, oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for your support and for watching my videos and for telling other people about my channel. I appreciate you so much. And while we're on the topic, don't forget to hit that like button while you're here, since you're here already. And if you haven't subscribed yet, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, definitely hit that subscribe button, because that's how you'll be able to stay up to date with any new content that I upload. But the final thing that I'll share with you in terms of what I'm going to be putting on my reseller wish list for Christmas is a new camera. I have been researching vlogging cameras, and one YouTube channel that I follow that's all about growing your YouTube channel is Think Media. And you know, pretty frequently, especially as new cameras come out, they will put up review videos for, you know, the best cameras for vlogging or the best cameras for YouTube. And one camera that I have seen continue to pop up over and over again is the Sony ZV-1. This is an expensive camera, but it has a lot of the features that I'm looking for. For example, it has like a flip screen so that you can see what you're filming as you're filming it. I always, you know, film on my iPhone where I can see myself on the screen. Otherwise, I feel like I'd be so lost. I wouldn't know if I was even in the frame or not. And this allows you to do the same thing. It allows you to like see exactly what it is that you're filming, to make sure that you're in the frame, all that good stuff. It has the ability to plug in a microphone, and it has the ability to, you know, auto focus and all that kind of stuff. It's a better quality picture. It has the ability to film in 4K. Like, it just has all the bells and whistles. And I don't know, I just feel like it's time to upgrade my YouTube equipment. And obviously with that camera, if I wanted to, I could use it to photograph, you know, all of my listings for my reselling business as well. The biggest downfall, I think, of this camera, and this is something that I've learned from doing some research, is that it doesn't have a very long battery life. It seems like the battery lasts for like 40 minutes. And if you know anything about my channel, you know that I have videos sometimes that are like an hour long, which means I film for like an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes at a time. So that'll be kind of tricky. I think there are some hacks, like I think you can have the camera plugged in while you're filming, and that should help obviously extend how long you can sit down and film for at one time, but that means I have to, be next to an outlet. Regardless, I think it's probably the best option out there. Like I said, it is expensive. It is on sale right now on Amazon for $648, which typically it's over $700. So, that's a pretty good deal. But I'm still doing a little bit more research to see if that's the best fit for me. If you have any suggestions for these kind of cameras, for like vlogging, for YouTube, please leave your suggestions down in the comments below, and I will, look into those as well as alternatives to the Sony ZV-1. Now, I would love to hear from you. What kinds of things are on your reseller wish list this holiday season? I'd love to hear from you because I'm always looking for ways to make my reselling business more efficient, and a lot of times that just comes with, just better reselling tools. So if you have any suggestions or things that you are going to be asking for, let me know down in the comments what those are. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were able to learn about maybe a product or two that could help your reselling business as well. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out, and as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.